Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. In this video we're going to be looking at the Bachmann Class 411, and this is in late Southern Railway multiple unit green with yellow warning panels. The Bachmann code is 31426A, and this review is a little bit special. It's actually the first review we're doing with a companion review in the mrlforums.co.uk newsletter. So MRL Forums is a forum that I participate in from time to time, and the guys there that run it are pretty cool. So they asked me to do a couple of reviews for their newsletter that comes out every 2 months, and they did a brilliant job. Jack there did an excellent job putting together the newsletter, and they do an excellent job with the forums. There's quite a few very talented railway modelers, all from around the different parts of the world, but mostly from the UK, I think. On that forum, so it's not as heavily used as some of the forums out there, but it's a pretty cool community and I like participating in it. So they asked me to put together a couple of reviews for their newsletter, and so their May-June newsletter came out with a review for this particular model, and so I thought I'd follow it up with a video review for anybody who wanted to get a little bit more information. So I'll put some links at the bottom of the video so you can find the forums and the print review there in PDF format. You should be able to download it. So why am I looking at this particular unit? Well, this is actually the second Class 411 that I purchased. I bought a Class 411 in BR blue and grey a few months back, and it's a really nice model. Now it retails for about £170. But Hatton's right now have it on sale for £69. So if you're like me and outside the UK, it's a £170 model for about £55. So you're looking at almost £120 off the recommended price. So that is an amazing deal. They come in a variety of liveries. They do have a couple of new ones coming out. So if you go to Hatton's site, you might see that some are actually at their recommended retail price or kind of a little bit below it, which is about £140. So you want to look for the ones that are £69, and I know that they still have at least this in BR green with the yellow warning panels, without the yellow warning panels, and they also have it in the BR blue and grey. So it's well worth picking up. And if you're interested in modifying these things for £55, might be worth picking up an extra one and trying to do a Class 410 for BEP conversion. The only difference between the Class 411 and the Class 410 is that the trailer second car, which is this second class car here, second one, it is a buffet car in the Class 410. So the Class 410 was commonly referred to as a 4BEP. Obviously the B is for the buffet. So it is a 4-car unit. Only the front car is powered. So a Class 411 consists of a DMBS at the front and the rear, and then the 2 cars in the middle, like I said, are a trailer second and a trailer composite. Obviously a composite is first and second class, or sometimes maybe first and third class, but it's basically a mixed class coach. The motor in this is actually in the front right here, and it only powers this particular bogie. But overall it's a very nice model, runs very smoothly, has no problems with the second radius curves. All the wheels are metal. Now the actual model itself would really in real life be powered by a electrical connection here. This is a third rail pickup, and so there would be a third rail running along here. You can actually get the chairs that sit into the sleepers and the third rail itself from Pico. I believe they're class or code 60 rail, and I think the chairs are IL1. I'll put the code at the bottom of the screen, but basically the whole kit to make third rail is pretty cheap. I think I spent less than $50, maybe $60, with enough to do about 30 or 40 feet. So it's pretty inexpensive to do it. So this particular model has interchangeable head codes, so the whole door and the head code in the front there can be swapped out. So if you have multiple units like this, you could, if you buy a couple of them, you can at least switch out the head coat on 2 of them. It has interior lighting from end to end. Their head coats are illuminated as well. The head coat on the rear of the train is a double blind, which is the 2 red, and the interior lighting goes throughout the train. The train has NEM couplings on either end with the small tension lock couplings that come with Bachmann. The train, however, is interconnected with these typical kind of Bachmann DMU interconnector connections. However, these ones are actually wired, so there's 2 metal pickups inside the NEM connector between the coaches, and then the actual connector itself has 2 metal prongs. So you gotta line up those metal prongs when you insert them. And unfortunately, the connector on the train actually moves around, so you gotta have to put your finger in behind it as you connect it up, and then basically connect them up together in turn. Now, obviously, Bachmann recommends you do it on its side beside the layout. Can't do that here since there's like a 5-foot drop. So what I had to do was basically very carefully put my finger in behind the connector and connect each of the coaches up one by one, and then just put it back on the track because it partially got derailed as I did that. Now, if you don't have the connectors properly connected, or there's a problem, not with this particular model, but with the other class 411 that I had in BR blue and grey, some of the connectors didn't have a proper electrical connection. So what you'll find is you might have light in the first 2 cars, and then the next car doesn't have light. Then you know that the interior lighting isn't getting power. So at least you know it's pretty straightforward to troubleshoot the connection. You just look for that connector that's coming from the power car to whichever coach doesn't have power. So this particular model was built between 1956 and 1963. You would have probably seen this in BR green up until about 1975, 1976. At that point, most of them probably would have been repainted, but it wouldn't be unusual to run this on a layout from anywhere from 1956 to 1975. They were built primarily for the electrification lines in and around Kent, and after privatization, actually, these were still run by Connex Southeastern and Connex South Central, and they ran up until about 2005. So it was 49 years or so in service, so it's a pretty long running train. They usually ran in this formation. Sometime in the early 1980s, they were refurbished with some upgrades to all the coaches, and they were reclassified as class 412. And there was also a time where they were used to replace a different class of locomotive temporarily, and they became modified as I think it was 4TUP. And so I'll put a little bit of information about that at the bottom of the screen. But all in all, it's a pretty cool model. So what I'm going to do is, instead of the usual performance test, I'm just going to do a quick pan around as the train moves out of the area here, and we'll wrap up the review.